So let me click on this plane. Okay, I just created a plane. Where is our plane? You see that? As soon as you click on one of those icons, or go to create and choose one of these polygon primitives, Maya will place them at the center. This is Maya documents. How can you tell this is center? This has been placed at the center. Once you activate this grid, see here, very, very tiny. I totally understand. Sometimes it's really hard to find this tiny icon. This is grid. Click this. You see that? So this is the origin. This is the center of the Maya documents. Whatever polygon primitive, whichever polygon primitive you choose, Maya will place them at the center like this. So, and then you hit W. W is a move tool, and then I'm going to place it right here. Okay, slightly zoom in. Compared to our reference, this is pretty small, and I'll make a little bigger. I think this is big enough. And then, as you can see, this plane has many, many, many faces. Many, many faces. So in order to reduce the number of faces, do you understand? This is 8 faces, 2 faces, right? Many, many faces. In order to remove or delete, reduce the number of faces on this plane, you can hit T, tangle, to open manipulator. This tiny inner panel called manipulator. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, now we can see the width and height 1 and 1, and the subdivision numbers. So we have 10 here, and subdivision height is 10. These are kind of default value for the subdivision width and height. Whenever you click this in the plane, well, you can reduce that number of faces in a subdivision. You can call faces of subdivisions. So let's start with just one. Yeah. That's just simple. Yeah, that's a very simple interface. Obviously, see, look at this. Apparently, this guy has only one face, just one face, instead of 100 faces. There's only one face. All right. So now, our next step is we need to create. Oh, let's rotate this one. Oh, our reference. See, this doesn't have this face. So basically, then we need to create this face, left-hand side, and this face, right-hand side, and front. We need to add 3 faces. All right, so right-click on edge. I'm going to select these edges. If you just hit W and move, you can just stretch this face like this. But in order to create 2 faces, one for this top, one for this front. Basically, we need 2 faces, top and front. You need to use a modeling tool. What tool? What modeling tool you need? So modeling tool, you may click on this modeling toolkit, and as I mentioned earlier, believe me, these are the 12 tools are most popular, most frequently used tool among an animator and modeling artist. So this is it. In order to make a 2 faces, top and front, and we need to use this extrude tool. So let me click this extrude. Do you still remember the hotkey and a shortcut hotkey for this extrude? I'm pretty sure that you're going to use this extrude tool at least a couple thousand times, 10,000 times sometimes, while creating your own 3D model throughout this semester. So just to remember this, just to memorize this, the hotkey for this extrude, rather than click and modeling toolkit and click this, just the hotkey, Command E, echo, Command E. So it'll open also tiny manipulators. You can ignore that. So this time we're gonna use this one, arrow. Arrow. Also looks like I rotate a little bit. Right. Command E, and then drag it, arrow. All right, I'm gonna select this one. And yeah, this is kind of huge. Probably larger than the top face of our reference. I don't like this. Just adjust a little bit. Okay, larger mode. Just push a little bit. All right, so we have created 2 faces, right? Top and front. Next, we need to create both sides, left-hand side and right-hand side, and both sides. Edge, and then select these edges. Hold down Shift, and then select this as 2. Left-hand side, right-hand side, both edges, and then Command E, echo, Command E, and then push this down. All right, looks okay. But how to connect between these edges and these two edges so that we won't have this hole empty in a space? You can use this target weld. Perhaps we never used this target weld. We have used like so far extrude tool, I believe bevel tool we used several times, and I believe we used the multi-cut tool many times, connect tool many times. Okay, so today we're gonna learn this target weld. Just click this target weld, and then you see when you bring your pointer in the cursor's top of this edge, you will see red line. I mean the light blue, baby blue turns to red. And then as soon as you see in the red, you just click your left mouse button and drag it to the other side. Done. Same thing. So here, red, okay, red line, red edges instead of blue edges. Target weld is still selected. Click left mouse button and drag it to the edge. So we no longer have those empty spaces, no hole anymore. All right. So basically, the exterior of this model is done. So next, we need to add this kind of groove here. A huge, how to call this one, like hole or groove or dent. So you can think of multi-cut tool. You can think of just using connect tool instead of multi-cut. Or some of you guys still remember the another really powerful modeling tool. I think I already showed you guys several times. This one, insert edge loop tool. Very useful tool. These are all extremely useful, essential tool. This one also very useful, powerful to insert edge loop tool. You like it, this tool as well. In addition to those 12 basic essential tools. So this time I'm not going to use the insert edge loop tool, but I'm going to use this connect tool. So let's quickly take a look at our reference, how to create this kind of groove here, this kind of hollow here. Yeah, you can definitely think of probably we need to add a couple more segments, more segments to create it. Otherwise, yeah, there's no way to create this kind of groove without adding more segments. Can you guess how many segments we need to add on here to create this kind of groove? 1 and 2, just 2, 1 and 2. Okay, I'm gonna go to modeling toolkit, and I already selected this connect tool. Do you still remember there's 3 options on the connect tool? Slide and the segments. This is place you can decide. You can type in exact number of segments that you need to create this kind. Let me type just 2. All right, I type 2 and then click. Okay, we successfully added 2. So what if you type the 3? You can have 3. And what if you don't want to just highlight this number and the type of whatever number that you need? Use middle mouse button. Middle mouse button. This is a very good tool. You can save a lot of time without going to your modeling toolkit and then go to segments and highlight this number and the type of whatever number that you need. Middle mouse button. So I'm going to use middle mouse button. You need like more than a dozen. You need just 1. You need 2, whatever. Also, in case, what if you like to place those new segments left hand side, right hand side, or someplace else? Not here, not exactly center. You can use this slide tool, middle mouse button. Say you want to place those segments on the right hand side here. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, you probably need to place those whatever number of segments in someplace else rather than placing them at the center. In between, in both sides, both ends. So what about this pinch? So middle mouse button. You see that? Well, sometimes you probably need to make some hollow on a dent, on a groove, on here. Right? So very narrow areas on these very narrow faces. Right? So otherwise, you need to just reset in a setting. So look at this. With the slide, the value for the slide is 0.50. With this 0.50, Maya will place your new segment at the center, exactly middle, between both ends, both edges. So again, pitch must pitch 0. So we need a 2. Okay, I'm going to use the middle mouse button. So I'm going to 2. All right, so done. There we go. for coffee. Okay, so we need to, you probably understand, we definitely need more segments. We just added 2 segments, but yeah, not enough. Yeah, so we still need to add more segments. So look right here. See how elegant, so look at this. How beautiful, edges around here. Look at this, elegant, hard edges, and getting kind of smoother and smoother as it goes to, right direction. Look at this. Now we could clearly see the difference. See, sharper, see, harder, edges, and compared to right here. See, harder, sharper than here. So definitely we need to add, in order to achieve this kind of nice hard edges, like this, like this, like this, we need to add another segment here. Okay, let me add one more segment. I'm gonna keep using this connect tool. Of course, I can use other tools such as multi-color tool or the insert edge loop tool, but I'm gonna keep using this connect tool. Just my preference, for this object, this particular object. Connect tool, click right here. Oh, yeah, Maya, it remembers. Okay, June, you need 2 segments, right? No, I don't need 2. I need just 1. Middle mouse button. Okay, that's it. So look at this. So 1, 2, 3. So far we add 1, 2, 3 segments, and then you probably notice that we missed the 1 more segment. Where? Right here. Right here. We need to add another segment here. All right. So let me keep using this connect tool. I'm going to click right here. See, Maya remembers the very last actions, and then I made it. So 1. See, he just guesses that how many segments I need for this. Definitely 1. 1 here and 1 here. And the 2. There we go. So while doing this, sometimes we just hit 3 to see the object that we are currently working with on the preview mode, or smoothing mode, whatever you like to call. Just hit 3. You see? So we got this kind of form now. So not quite there yet. So now. Okay, let's focus on right here. So we're gonna make this group. Let's see what I like to do. I'm gonna go to face mode. First of all, I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, we got a hole. Okay, ultimately we need to add faces inside of this groove. We should not see any hole here. So from this, also I'm gonna keep using this edge. I just select 1 edge. Okay, as you can see, I selected 1 edges. Okay, I'm not gonna just drag like this. So you already ruined your objects. So you need this extrude, okay, to add an additional, faces. Command E, command Apple key, and E, echo, and then push this down. You see, I just added a new face with this extrude tool, and then I'm gonna connect between these edges and these edges, 2 edges. This is here and here. All right. These edges is still selected, as you see. Still selected. The color is like orangish in color here. Hold down Shift and select these edges. See, I selected 2 edges, and then I am about connecting between these 2 edges. What tool we can possibly use here? Bridge tool. Bridge. So let me click this bridge tool. You see, 2 edges have been connected now. But we still have some issues on this groove. See, do you see huge hole on both sides, left and right? Okay, not a big deal. So I'm gonna just click and select the 1 edge. So the next tool we like to use is this one, fill hole. Literally, you can use this one to fill any kind of hole, some unexpected hole. Yes, you can use the fill. But when you use the fill, be careful. Don't select all the edges. Like this hole has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, right? Do not select all edges, but select 1 edge. You can select this edge. You can select this edge. You can select this edge. Any edges. So let me select just 1 edge, and go to Edit Mesh. Oh no, not here. Mesh and fill hole. So we no longer have ugly hole here. So let's flip this. we still have this hole. I'm going to select this one edge, not all edges, and go to mesh and fill hole. Done. So let me quickly click the 3 key to see this object on the preview mode. Yeah, looks much better, but not quite close to this one, our reference. Yeah. So hit 1 again to see this object on the polygon mode, normal mode. And let me duplicate this one. I'm going to show you 2 different methods to create this kind of form. Okay. One is, remember, bevel. Did I ever show you how to use this tool, bevel tool? I think I did, right? Bevel also extremely powerful, useful. I'm not showing you guys some tools that are not very important, not very useful. We have no time to deal with some whatever modeling tools that are not frequently used. It's kind of wasting time, I guess. So all tools, whatever tool that I'm showing you guys during the class periods are very, very useful. Very, very, great. Really great tool. Excellent, helpful tool. Powerful tools. All right, first we're gonna use for this guy, we're gonna use the bevel tool. And for this guy, we're gonna use a connect tool or multi-cut or the insert attribute tool. Okay, so first, bevel. All right, so let me hit 3 again. You see that? This is not right. This is not kind of ugly in form compared to this one. So I'm gonna hit 1 again. All right, and then I'm gonna go to bevel. You see, as soon as you click on bevel, it's one of the modeling 12 modeling tool. You will see, and Maya actually automatically and often make this manipulator, bevel manipulator for you. So this is flexible. So let me zoom in a little bit. And you have to toy with this fraction, the value of this fraction. Also, you have to deal with the you have to select the put the right number and correct number, appropriate segments in number right here. So that let's like this. It's better. We don't need that many, right? So we need. I think I'm gonna add just 3 there. What about this one? Fraction. My second one is 3. Here's the fraction. 0.1. Okay, with as you can see, with the fraction 0.1, you won't get this kind of sharper harder edges in here, on here, in here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go even lower than 0.1. Like for instance, what number is my 0.0? What about 6? What 0.05, something like that. All right. So remember, so we have not added any new segments manually, but we just use bevel. We use the bevel, nothing but bevel. So let me hit 3 again. You see that? Okay, it's done. Look at this. All modeling tool that you be used for this. Okay, this model. What's this one? Bevel. All right, very easy. And what about this guy? So for this guy, we're not going to use bevel, but we're going to do it manually. But some people prefer to do everything manually. He or she likes to have a full complete control by herself. So we're not going to use the bevel tool. So again, if I hit 3, see, it looks like this. So now we're 1 again. So connect tool. Here's connect tool. Definitely we need to add more segments there. What do you think? Is this right place? This the right place for this new segments in the middle here? Okay, now I'm going to deselect this. Not right. No, definitely not right. All right, so now I'm going to do connect tool like this. We need to add. You understand? We need to add 2 segments, 1 here and 1 here, near the both edges. So middle mouse button, I'm going to add 2, and then which one we should use to place this one near the edges on the left, and this one near the edges on the right. Slide. No, right? Pinch. Middle mouse button. Yes. See? I just placed those 2 segments, both ends. Okay, let me hit 3 again. You see that? Now we can clearly see the difference between here and here. Okay, 2 segments we just added on this model. This model, outcome model, made this happen. Made this happen. So something happened. Connect to. See, as soon as you click any of these edges, Maya will place those new segments at both ends. See how smart that Maya is. So don't forget to deselect those edges, the segments that you just whenever you add in the segments. See the edges are still selected. Yeah. So deselect by clicking anywhere on the segments. Double click. So let me hit 3 again. See, huge difference now. So huge difference. So yeah, definitely we need to add more segments. More segments, one here, probably one here, right? So connect tool right here. All right, why not? We can have 2, one here and one at the both ends. And the selection tool, and don't forget to deselect those new segment by clicking any empty space here. So hit 3 again. You see it? And oops. Then definitely we need to add another segment here. Okay, connect tool. Yep. Yep. Beautiful here, but I'm not too happy with this area yet. So here, yeah, we can add more. Connect tool. All right, simple enough. See this? Also, we have kind of rounded in the bottom here, so that I'm not satisfied with. Definitely, we can add more segments. And the pinch. Okay, you know what I'm talking? See, now we have created this kind of nice hard edges without actually using Bevel. We did everything manually. So that actually the tool, of course we use the connect tool, and we added several number of segments manually. Sometimes you like to add more segment inside of this and hollow to create even harder surfaces, faces inside here. Yeah, you can keep using this connect tool. Let me keep, I think we have used the insert edge loop tool many times, but let me quickly show you how to use this insert edge loop tool. So the mesh tool, insert edge loop tool, and then instead of selecting this letters, and I'm going to click on this empty box to open 2 settings. What is really interesting about this insert edge loop tool is this one, the relative distance from edges and equal distance from edges, and it has a multiple edge loops. Okay, looks like a default numbers of edge loop is 2, but like for instance, what if you like to add 4 or new segments by clicking once? Click just once, and you will get the 4 new segments. So edge loop tool, this is insert edge loop tool, and then go in the middle. You see what I'm talking here? So we just add 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. Probably too many. It looks like a little redundant. But I wanted to just show you how to use the multiple edge loop option. So we deselect this. So we create this with Bevel, and we create this with the connect tool, and insert edge loop tool. Lesson 7 looks like this. What kind of odd weird shape. Okay, I'm going to start with the plane. Okay, plane has been placed at the center automatically, and I'm going to hit W So let's place this in front of this our reference. Here, make a little bigger. Again, this guy has many interfaces, and hit T manipulator, and what's that? 1 and 1. All right. Make a little larger. And then H, same thing. Don't just hit W and then drag it. There's edges. Don't forget to choose this extrude to add another face. Currently we have only one face, one face. Command E, and stretch like this. And then I'm going to drag it down like this. Yeah, this face looks like a little bit larger than this. Okay, I'm going to select this edges and this time hit W, just a little bit, about the same size. And this edge, hold down Shift and then select the other edges. Command E, echo, down like this. Let's get rid of this. Try again. Okay, and then we're going to use, as you can imagine, target weld that we actually used earlier. Target weld, simply to drag it. Okay, in between those two edges. That's simple. All right, next step. We have both side and front and top, and basically this, this object consists of 4 actually faces right now. But next we're going to create this. Okay. All right, what do we need to do? All right, we need to add another segment. Let's try to add just one segment. Oops, not 3. With just 1 here. All right. And definitely we need another one right here. Yeah, do you see here? We need another one. Like 2. Another one here. Okay. And then I'm going to select these edges and a bevel. Do you see what I'm doing here? So I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Set now. Here it is. The 2, let me do it again. I selected not 2 edges. I select this 1 edges. Just select 1 edges and a bevel. Okay. And then looks like this is wider than this one. And you can adjust that, fraction, value. Probably this is too narrow, too wide. Somewhere here in between. Oh, still bit. I think that's about right. Yeah. You see? About right. And then here, okay, the value for the fraction I typed in, and my manipulator was 0.4. Segment, I'm going to leave it as it is, just 1. And I didn't even touch the rest of things. After this, face, white face, because I like to remove this 2 faces, okay, to create this kind of groove here, and then edge, All right, just simply select 1, 2, hold down Shift and select 1, 2, 3, 4. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Command E. What is the Command E? Extrude, and bring this down. You see what I'm doing here? Just create it. What I did. Okay, don't forget to select only these edges, these edges, this edge, and these edges. Only 4 edges. Only 4 edges. And then extrude. So now we added 4 more faces. 1, 2, 3, 4 more faces. Okay. All right. And so while selecting 1, 2, 3, 4 edges from the bottom here. I'm curious about how this tool works in a fill hole, because we don't need this in hole, empty space. Say, look at this, our reference. So we need to add, we need to fill this hole. So our 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, just select it, and then go to mesh. Try this one, fill hole. You see, this does not work in this case. Does not work for on this kind of model 3D objects. So let me undo this. All right, this time what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to select these edges and these edges. Select 2 edges, right? And then use bridge. So we got it. Okay, we got our face. I just connected between 2 edges. And then what about here? And then select 1 edges. And then go to a mesh and fill hole. Did I select this? Edges and fill hole. Yep, that's simple. Look at this. So first, actually, so do you remember? So I selected 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. And theoretically, well, technically speaking, this should work. But say go to mesh and fill hole. So what about here? If I selected just 1, mesh and fill hole. But say theoretically it should work, but it doesn't. It does not work. But think of flexible. Think of flexible. If something that don't panic doesn't work, think about it. You can just like this case, this tool doesn't work, and then try something else. So I can say to create like for instance this kind of form, 3D model. I can think of more than a dozen different ways. Probably more than a couple dozen different ways to create this kind of form. This is just one of them. This is just one. This is not the only method, only way to create. No, absolutely no. There are so many different ways to create. Like for instance, you go to Nashville, right? Sometimes we take I-65. Probably sometimes you take the 273. Sometimes you take the 31 by test. You can still get to Nashville. There's many different directions, many different tests, to go to Nashville. So this is just one of them. And fill hole doesn't work. That's why I thought about this guy in a bridge tool. With the bridge tool, you have to select the odd number. I can say two edges. I can say even number. Yeah, even number. 2 edges, probably 4 edges, or 6 edges, or 8 edges. So I'll select this 1 edge and hold down shift 2 edges and the bridge. So we still have hole right here. And then we're going to select just 1 edge and then go to mesh and fill hole. So now we no longer have a hole here. So perfect. And then connect to, I'm going to add the additional. Exactly center. And then select these edges and hit W and push out like this. And deselect. Okay, let me hit 3. That's kind of close, right? But not quite there. Do you see the main? Something noticeably different areas apart between these two. Can anyone tell us? This is a reference. This is what we're working on right now.
Do you have more segments?
Why do you need more segments then? Right. Do you see? So let's take a look here quickly and take a look around here and around here. As a matter of fact, there's huge difference. This one has harder edges around this and form, this groove here, but this guy does not have this kind of elegant and hard edges on top here. So that's why we need to add more segments. And let me hit one again. And edge. I'm going to select these edges, hold down shift 2, 3, 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, and then choose the bevel. Here, probably too much fraction. You see, too much fraction. I can low down the. And what about the segments here? And then also I'm going to go to point 08. Guess. The segment 2. All right, so let me hit it 1, 3 again. You see that? Do you know what I'm talking? So now we got the nice hot edge one as this one, as good as this one. All right. Does anyone discovered, found that something wrong on this object, something going wrong on this object? Nobody has discovered something has gone wrong. What was it? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So as I suggested you guys to keep an eye on the faces on your models. Every single face. This is a face, two faces, right? Face. Every single face on your model should be four-sided. This one is four-sided, yes. Four-sided, yes. Four-sided. What about this? This is not four-sided. What about this? Four-sided, everything is four-sided. But these two are not four-sided. Then that means these are not good. Can we make this one four-sided faces instead of five-sided faces? These are non-four-sided faces. Yeah, you can just simply use a multi-cut tool. So let me cut it like this. Very, very simple. It is four-sided? Yes. Is it four-sided? Yes. Both are four-sided right now. But when you do this, don't forget to use symmetry options, asymmetry, symmetry option. Yeah, this is symmetrical object. And this one and this one are identical. Exactly same, like twins. What about this? This one, identical. This one, identical. These two are identical. So when you are adding more segments about using multi-cut connector or the insert edge, whatever tool on the identical faces, symmetrical form faces, use this one, activate this symmetry option. So by the way, so basically, let's go to top view. Let's draw here the X. Yeah, this is Y. Can you see those are very small, tiny letters, Y, X, and Z. So we need to draw two segments, one here and one here. Why? Because these two are not, these two are non-four-sided faces, So go to symmetry option. I'm going to select this X, right? Object X. Do you see this? Automatically, I select the both symmetrical faces. And then select the multi-cut. So I'm cutting now. Two segments simultaneously at the same time. Don't do one by one. So now look at this. Four-sided, everything is four-sided. Once it's done, you can go there and turn it off. So now, see, mode. Looks like this part is a little too tight. Okay, I'm gonna adjust a little bit by dragging this vertex or in all three vertices to this direction. Okay, go to vertex. All right. So what I like to do, basically I like to select this vertex and this vertex, three vertices, and move this one to the left a little bit. And do you see the very subtle difference? Do you see subtle difference? I like this better than this. So I'm going to drag like this one. But be careful while moving, it's sliding. While sliding, any of those components are vertices and edges and faces. So this time, in this case, we are working with but the three vertices. Don't forget to go to modeling toolkit. Use this transform constraint. And we have two different options, edge and slide, and the other one is surface slide. This transform constraint let you slide components. These are components, points, edges, and face components along the edges, or along the surface, along the edges, along the surface. All right. If you don't activate this one, these things happen sometimes. You already, ruined your beautiful 3D model. It happens sometimes like this. So once you activate this transform constraint option, like for instance surface lines, you can slide those components along the surface. See, along the surface. So what about this? Nothing happens. You cannot move this up and down. You can only slice these three components. Okay, so this along the surface. Awesome. So here is edges. You see? Okay, while we are doing this, we're learning this lesson, whatever number is 7. I think the most important lessons on this lesson 7 this symmetry, asymmetry, and then this one, a transform constraint. This. Once I click on the cylinder icon and create this new cylinder, I see a bunch of non-four-sided faces. Yes, so look at the side, all four-sided, but if you look at the top and bottom, all triangles, Yeah, this is not good. So for instance, another example here. Actually, that was a very good question. Have you ever wondered about this cylinder? No? Cool here. Something like this. Okay, so again, this one has many triangles, top and bottom. So what about this guy? It's kind of odd from, yeah, although we see in many four-sided faces around this object, but if you look at the right here, around here, see, look at this, all triangles. And what about here? These faces. This is not a four-sided face. This one neither. This one neither. See, the non-four-sided faces. On the other end, look at this. Oh, you should see in a bunch of triangle in this hole. So basically, you need to fix. You need to fix this. Those are non-four-sided faces. The process of fixing those non-four-sided faces in Maya is very simple. It couldn't be easier. We used to actually fix those non-four-sided faces by hand manually. We've done painstakingly, but nowadays it couldn't be easier. All you need to do is use these two tools, modeling tool. The first one is called remesh, reorganize, remesh, redraw, and the second one is called retopologize. Remesh first and the retopologize. Okay, let's do this. All right, so I'm going to select this cylinder. And then click this remesh. Whoops, look at this. Now we have even more, non-four-sided faces all around the cylinder. Okay, don't panic. So what's important here? After this, you should see this again, this manipulator, tiny manipulator for this remesh. And you can also go to Attribute Editor and find the remesh tab there. So look at this. These two are the groups of the menus are exactly the same. Here's remesh, max edge, and there's a collapse. What about here? Remesh, max edge, and collapse. Okay. So if you change the number on the attribute editor, it will automatically change the number, the value of the max edge length on this manipulator as well. So what if you change the number here? So I can't tell you what is right value for this max edge length. It really depends on what kind of object you are working with right now. So what's important here is when you are changing this value, just see the number of faces on this on the object. Obviously, this is too many, right? And then don't as soon as you lose the main, I mean the important characteristic of your 3D models, the model, that means you have to change this number. Change this number. So look at this, like for instance, so this is kind of, you see, look at this. We kind of went to 0.1. Say, look, this is bad. We already lost the original, I mean, the characteristic of the cylinder. So that means you have to increase. See, this is bad. This is a bad number, 0.9. So I'm gonna go like this. And also you have to mess with the this collapsing threshold on in here or over there attribute. I mean, in the attribute area. So okay, and then the next step is click this, retopologize. Retopologize. That's it. It's magic. So look at this, how clean this one is. And then do you see any non-four-sided faces on here? No. Absolutely no. Every single face on the cylinder is right now four-sided faces. Not even single non-four-sided faces on this object. So what about this one? So you kind of spend some time and made some whatever in a 3D form that you like to use for your animation. Well, looks good, great, and thank you. I can move on, next object, yeah. But see what happens. Once you hit 3, this is kind of a very common issues. Once you hit 3, to see your object on the preview mode, you see kind of weird wrinkles, all kind of weird kind of distortions all around the object. And so look at this. This is bad. This is terrible, horrible. So now it's about time to use these two tools, remesh and retopologize. Right. Yeah, the reason why, because this one has many non-four-sided faces, such as triangle, and this looks like 5 or 6-sided faces things. So again, I'm gonna click this, choose remesh. Again, I can't tell you what number is appropriate, correct, for this guy. So you have to mess with this number. This is either too many. What about this? You see, you kind of lost the characteristic of this curve. This curve, you like to keep this nice curve here, and then you have to change this number. See, they kind of jagged, very choppy. See, edges. You have to deal with this now, and the threshold. I think that's about right. And then retopologize. You see that? Now you won't see any of those non-four-sided faces. Look at this. Let me hit 3. You know what I'm talking? Once you hit 3, to see this object on the preview mode, you won't see any kind of weird distortion or distortions. You won't see any kind of weird wrinkles. So these are kind of magic, tools. I don't want you to, fix, the correct those non-four-sided faces by, manually by yourself. No, very time consuming. Yeah. So just use the whenever you see some weird, distortions on the surfaces of your object, use these two tools. Lesson 8. So we are making this. That's kind of fun. So the main tools that we're going to use, we're going to learn for this lessons are this. Snap to grid. Snap to grid. Again, this one is also very, very useful too. If this is not very useful tool, I won't show you. Show you guys this. Very, very useful. Snap to grid. And then this is what? Snap to points. This is not that important. This is what is the second one. Snap to curves, not that important. But these two are very, very useful. Snap to grid and snap to point. Hotkey for those two tools are snap to grid, X. Holding down, you need to press and hold X key, or just go right here and click and choose this tool. The second one, the third one is snap to point. The hotkey for this tool is a V, as a big X and V. All right, so to create this kind of form, I'm going to use not cylinder, but I'm going to use the pipe. Okay, so let me select this pipe. Okay, where's my pipe? Has been placed at the center. So let me right here. Again, this one has many faces. Make a little bigger. About same size. All right. Basically, do you see here very clean and neat, sharp edges on here? Can you guess how many subdivisions you need to create this kind of clean edges? Let's see how many it is. This one 20 subdivision. Yeah, definitely 20. This one is 20. Do you think we did 20? Absolutely no. I think I never used this number, this amount of numbers for subdivision to create this kind of hole. You know what? 8 will be more than adequate, more than enough to create this kind of clean hole. 8. Sometimes you can go with even less than 8, like 6. But try to use the even number rather than odd number. 6, 8, 10, and 12 instead of 7, 9, and 11. So subdivision axis, I think 8 is a very safe number to create this kind of hole. Now with this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the top faces. How many faces? Of course, 8 faces. 8 faces. I'm going to select 8 face, 2 faces, 3 faces, or click 8 face, hold down, Shift key, and double click the very next face to select all faces from top. And then if you like to get rid of the rest of faces, other than the faces you already selected, Command, Shift and Command, and India inverse, India, and then delete it so that we can have only top and 8 faces. From here, so we're gonna go to top view. Unfortunately, we don't see grid. Okay, so now I'm gonna activate this grid now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place this one, okay, inside of this 4 grids, inside of this 4 grids right here, right here. Okay. All right, remember, do not, okay, you must not do guesswork. Okay, for instance, you like to place this center, center is right here manually, like this. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. Never going to be perfect. Never going to be accurate. Never going to be professional. Way to place this kind of flat object on this grid. Use this tool, point, and then in a grid. So this time we like to place this right here center. So which key should be pressed? X. Yeah, X. See, X. Snap to grid. Snap to grid. So on the other hand, the snap to point means, let's say, the PV point at the center of course of before. I'm going to relocate this. Here. So what if you like, for instance, you like to place this, okay, this object right here, so that this vertex and this vertex overlap, and place the exactly same spot right here. Okay. Again, if you do manually, it's not going to be perfect. This is a very poor way to do while creating any 3D model. Use this snap to point. If you like to place this point just top of this point on the other object. V, hold down V, big top. You see that? See, you want to place it right here, place here, point like that. All right. Remember this grid, this point. So from here, I'm gonna go to vertex mode. Select this vertex, hold down X key, snap to grid, snap to grid. See, snap to grid. So we'll get the ultimately we'll get the a square, yeah, square, not rectangle, kind of the square. See, this kind of perfect. So now we get perspective view. So now I understand what is our next step. I'm gonna make a little bit bigger this one. Okay, let's make a hole. Edge. Double click and select all edges. All right. Push this down like this. No, right? Extrude. Definitely extrude. Command E. So what if you like to add additional segments while you're dragging, okay, these edges down? G, what is G? Repetition, repetition. If you like to repeat the same things over and over and over, just hit G, George, George, oops. George, okay. Or and then I click here. So once I hit 3, it's okay. Not really, not really okay. So compared to the C, this one is definitely sharper. Okay, now you understand what we need at this moment to create this kind of sharp edges around this hole. Definitely, there's insert edge loop tool. Oops, so many. Okay, the reason why. Okay, we still have this multiple edge loops. We have 4 here, so I don't think we need this multiple number. Let's see. All right, now let's try the relative distance from edges. Like, let's try both actually, relative distance from edges, and the second one is equal distance from edges. Let's try this first one, relative distance. So when you like to add 1, 2, 3, 4 segments, basically we're drawing about drawing in a square, just a line near the 4 edges, Use this relative distance from edges. So look at this now. See, if you place this near inner segments around this circle, around this hole, you will get this kind of ugly the segments. Why ugly? Because we see we don't see same kind of a distance in between those two edges. All kind of different. They all look like a different shape, different faces. So in this case, and so actually to relative distance from edge is still selected. I'm gonna start from here. Okay, and I drag it toward edges, 4 edges, and then that's about right. And then release your mouse. See, now it's edge. Why we need this one? To create some nice and hard edges. And here, so no, we need to add more segments around this hole. And this time we're going to use this equal, instead of relative distance from edges, we're going to use equal in distance from edges. Look at this. You see that? Equal distance from edge of this hole. So I'm going to add 1 here, maybe one more here. Yeah. See, let me hit 3. See what I'm talking? Do you understand now? So after this, select all edges around this 4 side. Command E, extrude. I'll bring this down like this. That's enough. All right, let me hit 3. Yeah, it's almost there. And then, all right. So if you look at our reference, this doesn't have hole at the bottom here. All right, not a big deal. Select this edge, double click, and then select all the edges around this bottom of this objects. Which one we should? You don't have to select actually everything. So what if I selected just 2? I think she worked there after the whole. Yeah. You see? Okay. Do you see anything that you don't like, or any issues that you have discovered on this object? Okay, it looks like there's no bottom here. Okay, that's not a big deal. Let's look at this. Yeah, we can always have it here. Okay, it's a normal hole here. Once we hit 3, yeah, this is not right. So look at this. The bottom is very rounded. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, see. Also, if you take a look at the inside of here. Look at this, inside this hole. This one has pretty flat one. Yeah, what we can do, we can use let's try the insert edge tool again. And definitely we like to try this multiple in edge loop. And let's just add the 4 more there inside here. All right. See, this is better. And also, you can create even harder edges at the bottom right here, at the bottom of this out. So what we can do, I'm going to double click on this so that I can select all edges around this and hold, and hit W and move this down a little bit, close to the bottom, so that I can achieve the even harder surface. You know what I'm doing here? So what about here at the top? Also, you can double click and select all edges and hit W and move that up a little bit so that you can achieve even harder surface edges. All right, this might be okay, yeah, but pretty rounded here. Okay, also we can add additional segments. Maybe double click. This time just equal, just one here. See, you know what I'm doing here? I'm gonna add one here at the bottom, and hit 3. You see? Very nice. Any other issues? Nobody? Again, this one is a non-four-sided interface. How to fix this one? Yeah, that's very simple. Modeling toolkit, use this multi-cut. See what I'm doing here. Cut right here. That's fine. Multi-cut. Right here. So now, four-sided, 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 everything four-sided. No. Another one. Okay. All right. I don't know how to explain this one. See, hey guys, look at this. This comes, the edge. Look at this. It comes from inside of this hole and go up. See, so you go like this direction, right? You go. I mean, these two edges are connected. I don't see any discontinuous, disconnected in between these edges and these edges and these edges. But if you flip this over, after this, no more connection. I mean, these edges and doesn't meet any edges in here. Same thing. So look at this. This comes down here, all the way down, and they're connected with this tiny edges, but it stops right here. So whenever you see in this kind of face, okay, this kind of face, where the edges kind of stopped, kind of disconnected, cut off or something. See, it looks like cut off here. I want you to use this multi-cut, and all you need to do is connect between two edges or two vertices. How to click this and click right here. You see? Just go like this. Connect, all are connected. Absolutely no disconnection. See, everything is connected. And this one too. See, multi-cut. Select, and the cut